Well, welcome to the Bakersfield Model Yacht Club, Soling 50 High Points. This is going to be 4 days of racing spread out through the year. Today's the first day. It's the 18th of February.
We did the Nationals.
We're at the
there.
pond behind the Target in Bakersfield. We've got 8 boats here today.
I've also sailed in
the wind is out of the west, northwest, 6 knots or so. It goes up a little stronger, dies off a little bit. There's a bunch of swirls. It's some challenging wind conditions, but this is Bakersfield, and it's just fine.
I can hear it.
We've got about 15-20 seconds until the start. I'm the red boat out there with the red stripe on the jib, number 81. I'm wearing a miniature camera mounted to the top of my hat, velcroed on the top of my hat, and it's going to take a picture and show you wherever my head is pointed. At about 6 or 7 seconds until the start. Now you see I've got a leeward boat, a blue boat down below me, and I have to stay clear of him. I'm trying to stay clear of him and still work down below.
Somebody in blue
I didn't get called over early, but
thank you, Judy.
Kind of mixed it up with that green boat who was also leeward and had right away on me. So we're off. Number 227 is the boat in the lead to weather ahead of me. And you see we've got reasonably good air. Stays with fairly consistent direction and fairly consistent strength, but you will see it's going to die out and it will fill in. That's been what's been happening. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so the wind has had a chance to settle into whatever it might be doing. We're coming up to a yellow buoy. We're going to take that buoy to port, and we're going to do 1 lap for these races. My coverage is just going to be the starts in the first leg, because as you know, I believe if you can get a good start, get to the sail on the lifts, stay in clear air, you can do fine in the race. So I'm around the mark in second place. 227 has a good lead on me. A few boats coming up behind. You can see the wind's getting a little bit light at this point, both for the boats working to weather as well as myself going downwind.
Well, Chris has got it.
Always has.
And that lead boat's got nice air, very broad reach. That's Chris Steiger in 227. Richard French, number 85,
still
just going around the weather mark.
It died at the weather mark. Chris got down below it. Are we doing a gate? What are we doing, Chris?
Chris is extending his lead. He's sailing on. He's in good air. I've kind of died out.
Okay, so leeward mark, is that where we're going?
So we're going to drop off at this point, and we'll catch race number 2. We're going to have 6 races today that I'm going to give you coverage of. We had 12 actually, but just for sake of time management here, we're going to give you the first 6. Okay, so here's race number 2.
They're more what you call
guidelines.
About the same wind, hasn't changed direction much. That yellow buoy, the starboard end, is very favored. I'd say by 20, maybe even 30 degrees.
Close enough.
About 10 seconds until the start, maybe 15. All the boats are maneuvering for the start.
8 seconds. 6.
5 seconds till the start.
No!
You pushed me.
Okay, well, I'm the red boat, and I was leeward. The green boat came down on me, but
leeward boat.
That's the way it is sometimes. So I had right away, but kind of got hammered. But the good news now, we're off. I've got clear air, and we're sailing close hauled. Going to get into a little bit of shallow water here. I'm going to bail out at some point. Not that there was a lift or anything, but just needed the sea room. Got great air, excellent heel on the boat there, driving pretty good. I'd have the sails pulled in all the way at this point. By the way, that shoreline is pretty rough terrain. I'm completely unfamiliar with it. This is my first time racing at this location, so I'm trying to walk and sail my boat at the same time, and I found that rather challenging. So I just passed ahead of Chris Steiger, 227, on port. I'm making my way up to the ley line. Now it's a question of judging that ley line. I tacked over, and I've got a green boat coming up below me, but he is not going to make it. Now he can luff head to wind. That's just fine. And he did, but of course he lost a lot of speed in doing that. So in this case I was first around the weather mark, and now we're sailing downwind for the rest of the race. So we're going to break off now. We'll head to race number 3.
Got the lucky the visitor.
Okay,
No,
here's
I'm a club
race
member.
number 3.
That's right. You're no
The wind has shifted a little bit more to the west, so that line is a pretty fair line at this point. About 15 seconds until the start, I believe. Everybody maneuvering for the start, of course wanting to be on starboard.
9, 8,
8 seconds until the start. I'm kind of out on the right side a little further than I'd like to be.
3, 2,
I'm going for the pin at this point. There's the bell going off. Number 85 had an excellent start. He was right on the line with speed. 227 is going to take my stern. I decided I didn't want to let him go, so I tacked over as soon as he passed my stern, so I would not foul
Could
him.
go away. Look
Number
at it go
85,
away.
you can see, has got some great air, just pulling right out.
Yeah, he does.
You got a header.
That lift has come in from the left, so that's a port tack lift. Richard French, one of our past national champions in the blue boat, number 85, is doing just great. Got a nice lift going. I'm getting a little of it, but he's giving me a little gas too. So we're headed out to the ley line on port.
Well, I don't know. I got a nice lift. I'm coming up to it. If it keeps turning, I'm just going to go to it.
And the question, of course, is at what point you tack to head over to the ley line. So I've just tacked on the starboard.
Stan, you tack within 5 boat lengths. Excuse me, 4 boat
Yes, and I was
lengths.
calling out to the green boat that he tacked within 5 boat lengths, so I'm allowed to sneak in, even at the last minute, as long as I have an overlap.
Well, it means I can sneak inside at the last
and
minute.
get an overlap on him at the
No.
weather mark, which I did. However,
Look at this guy go over me.
in doing that, number 227, Chris Steiger, got on my air and rolled over the top of me. Okay, on to race number 4. Okay, here's race number 4.
But it's cold and it's
About 15,
No, it's
20
not-
seconds
it's
until
not
the start.
windy.
Boat's
It's
maneuvering again.
50%
That wind has shifted back more to the northwest. So the yellow mark, yellow end, the starboard end of the line, a little more favored by maybe 20 degrees or so. So that might not want to be right at that pin, but probably want to be pretty close to it. Trying to set myself to be up at the pin at the start. 6 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, and I got an itchy trigger finger, and I'm over early. Oop, trying to get back to the line. I was okay staying on starboard. There were port tack boats that were coming into the line, but I was on starboard. I had right away. I could have run right down the line, but I didn't. I got a little nervous. Put the boat to close hauled, and was easily a boat length over at the ding. So went back, restarted, and of course going back to the start line, you have no right of way. So I needed to stay clear of all those boats. So now I'm playing a game of catch up, which is pretty tough with this crew. We have some very good sailors out here. Stan Ogden in the green boat just ahead of me there. Stan's sailing very well these days. So clearly I'm tail end Charlie at this point. I'll just see what I can do. Well, I'm going to be inside one boat at the mark.
Give him room around the mark.
Actually, it looked like one of the boats missed the mark, so I actually picked up 2 boats at that point, so I'm in 4th place. And I said there were 8 boats. There were only 6 boats today, excuse me. So now we're headed downwind. Okay, so now we're going to run on to race number 5.
We don't have to go.
Okay, here is race number 5. Wind's picked up a little bit. I'd say it's up in the 8 knot range. Maybe just a touch more. Still out of the northwest. The yellow end of the line still favored. About 10 seconds until the start. Boat's maneuvering. I would like to be at the pin at the start. If I could have my way. Let's see if I can do it. 5 seconds until the start. So I'm coming in a little late, but there's the ding.
My
And-
fault, Chris. I'll give you a
I'll let you,
360.
yeah, that's okay. It was incidental. We'll let you
Oh,
play with it.
it looked like I was barging a little bit on 227. And he did not press the issue. He kind of allowed me to duck in there, but that was not a good move on my part. So now we're on starboard. You can see we're almost getting overpowered here. I'm not set up for this strong. Whoops. I thought I was going to clear that blue boat, but obviously did not.
Tangled up.
Got some good air here. Well, we got untangled.
I'm sure you'll do the appropriate thing.
So the blue boat's doing their turn.
Red boat on starboard.
I'm still on starboard, making my way up to the yellow mark. The strategy at this point is I'm just hanging on with both hands at this point. I flew up in the morning to go to the regatta from San Diego, and oh, there we go.
Man, excuse me,
My mind is just
Get
not
clear,
on
get out of your
sailing.
way.
It's some other place,
Well, I
wherever
like
it is,
it.
and I just
Stupid
T-boned
move on my
Stan
part.
in the green
Move
boat.
around the mark again.
I had no rights to go in there. He was clear ahead at the four-boat length circle.
I'm a better sailor than
And I
that.
tried to stick my nose in there, and when he came down, actually I thought I had a little bit of room, but I did not get my helm around, and I fouled him, and so I did my 720. Not a good move. Not a good move on my part. Okay, on to the last race number 6. Okay, here's race number 6. About 10 seconds to the start. Wind's just a touch lighter now, but still out of the northwest. So again, the starboard end of the line, the yellow end, is favored. Maneuvering for the start. 10 seconds until the start. Trying to set myself up for the pin. 5 seconds. I look in pretty good shape right here. I'm going to be right at the pin. I had 2 boats that were barging in on me that I think hit me, took a little of my way off, but that's the way it is. So we're off. We've got a little bit of bad air from the green boat. Trying to sail as high as I can to keep the boat moving, just to keep my air clear. Very difficult position. Might have been a better thing to do, just tack, get out of there, and then come back. But this is not one of my better sailing days, and I just stayed there in the bad air. And there I am finally bailing out. You can hear the wind noise in the microphone, so we got pretty good air coming in. So I cleared my air, now I'm coming back on starboard. Just trying to sail the boat fast as I can. I think I'm on the ley line at this point. Looks like I may have luffed up just a touch, and I'm in second place around the mark, so that's okay, not great. A few mishaps on the way, but that's what we're going to get in sailing on occasion. Okay, so that wraps it up for the video coverage for the high points today. My philosophy, my sailing philosophy is typically get a good start, have clean air, be moving at the start line, be on the line, and then try to play the shifts. The conditions today with the shifts, I had no idea what was going on. I never figured out what was happening or what was going to happen. I could not figure out where the light spots were. I could not figure out where the wind was coming from. And it showed. And maybe nobody else knew, but usually I like to have a better idea of what's going on. I thought my starts left a lot to be desired today. I didn't have the concept of where I wanted to be maybe 10 seconds before the start, or where exactly I wanted to be at the start. And we had a lot of traffic, a lot of maneuvering traffic around the line, and my ability to respond to that just wasn't there today. So I look at these videos to try to learn some lessons from what went on, and I'm scratching my head trying to figure out what the lessons are, other than to concentrate more about what's going on and think a little bit more about what's going on. I think I was distracted today. Again, this was my morning travel up to Bakersfield and then sailing. Not that that's an excuse, but I just try to understand how that affects my sailing.
Well, who's
So,
on me there?
good, bad, or
Who's
otherwise,
on me?
that's the report for the high points. I certainly enjoyed myself. This is a great group of folks. Always enjoy sailing with them. There's some excellent sailors in here. So thank you to them for allowing me to come up and sail with them. And we'll see you next time we're up at Bakersfield. Take care.